Welcome, everybody. John Zager, johnzager.com. How's everybody doing? Good? Good. So, I don't know what day it is. I think it's a weekend, Saturday. Tomorrow will be Sunday. Yeah, that's what it is. And the temperature has gone up really well. I think it's supposed to be in the high 40s or low 50s or something like that. So we're all happy about that. You see I got a haircut? See my haircut? It was getting unmanageable and way too long, so I saved up some money and went and got a haircut. Yay. So we'll take a little better care of our hair and not let it get out of control. So how's everybody doing out there? I want to talk some more about not trusting a lot of places and agencies and institutions that are giving us misinformation. I've been talking about that for about a week now, and I kind of want to touch on it one more time, and then maybe I'll shut up and stop talking. A friend of mine just called up, and he went through some medical treatment that I won't talk about, but was very unpleasant. And he's an older guy, senior, but he pays attention and tries to do what doctors and whatnot tell him to do, so that at his age his condition doesn't get a lot worse, right? Well, evidently the information they've been giving him has not been totally accurate. Ends up a week ago in a hospital emergency room and has to go through some kind of delicate, serious procedures to get back on the road to health. And was just talking to me about, being not real comfortable with a lot of places that are giving misinformation, especially to seniors. One example is medical. There's a doctor that I visit that's at a Christian medical clinic, right? And they're advertised in all the different Christian, Catholic, advertisements, newspapers, flyers, whatever, as a free medical clinic for underprivileged and people that are struggling financially. In other words, you don't have to pay. You can go in there and get treatment for the most part, and they don't bill you. So I've been over there a couple times in the last, year and a half or something like that. And each time they sent me these huge bills for, last one was $380 for 40 minutes or something. And that particular time, I think I was having a cold and a cough and just needing to be seen for basic stuff in the winter, right? Wasn't there more than 10 or 15 minutes, and sure enough, I get a bill for $380, and it said it was for 45 minutes, and I wasn't there but for maybe 10 minutes. Can they do that? Can they just make up a number and say, excuse me, can they just say to whoever's filling out the billing that, well, he was here for 45 minutes, even though he wasn't here, but for 10, and bill him for $380, even though he was here for only 10 minutes. Can doctors do that? Can they give you false billing? I mean, they're not even supposed to be charging anyway because, it's a free clinic. And then they come up with that kind of stuff. Is that fraud? So he's not that good of a doctor anyway, but I'm thinking I'm probably not going to go back there. That's an example. My other old friend, he just experienced the same thing, but in a lot more severe of a situation. And of course, who knows what that bill turned out to be. I run across older people. I was at Walmart and talking to a lady at the checkout counter or something, and the doctor was telling her that she needed to have a whole new shoulder. And she said, "What for?" "Well, it gets sore, doesn't it?" "Well, sure, but I'm older. Things don't work the same that they used to." And she's upset about the information she's getting. Went to another clinic for seniors and got different information. So I guess I'm sort of trying to figure out what's going on. I don't understand why people aren't being as honest as they're supposed to be. And by people, I mean, institutions and clinics and government and all that kind of thing. The other thing is, if you just look at the economy, God, I talk to people every single day. Today I was talking to a greeter at a grocery store, and they've taken away all the plastic and paper so that now you have to buy one of their bags that are $1 a piece. I said, "Well, what happened to paper and plastic?" And the lady said, "Well, the company decided to just go with the more expensive stuff and not ever we don't have any more paper or plastic, and they're not planning on redoing that." It's stuff like that. It's like, aren't they billionaires that own that company, grocery chain? Aren't they billionaires? And they are. Something isn't right there. So then I decided to check into, just to kind of do research like I do. I went and started contacting places in Arizona, California, Colorado, specific parts that I would have an interest in maybe living in, looking for inexpensive, reduced housing for seniors in certain areas. And of course they put a good advertisement out and make you think you could get your name on that list and end up living there for cheap. Because it's very expensive. You can't... I think housing starts off at around 1,000 here in town for a little apartment if you can find one. Senior housing, if you get on the list, and I've done this before, it's 5 years. If you even get your name called. So the information we're being given about housing, especially for seniors, sure isn't accurate. And it's not a pretty picture. Price of food. A couple friends of mine contacted me and said there's a new Chinese place. I like Chinese food. And we stopped in there and we got a menu and with the price on it. I want to read you some of this stuff, and they read me off. All of the prices for the Chinese food was close to $15. In this town and parts of California I've stayed at and Arizona, they generally seem to be around $5.50 to $8.50. Those days are gone. Grocery stores, forget it. I don't know anybody who can afford to go into grocery stores and buy, your weekly supply. And paying, wages. I've been just talking to various people that I know that work at different places, and everybody's at $12.50 an hour, which is minimum wage here in the town where I live. You can't live on that. If you're single, you can't live on that. If you have a family or even a couple people, you can't live on that. So, not good, you guys, not good. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yesterday, I had done some soul searching about where is life going and what comes next and how long until it gets even more bleak than what it is now. And I went to a workshop with some PhD doctors and MD doctors, and I listened for an hour and a half, the lecture, the presentation. And they paint two pictures. One is an unrealistic picture that's not true, and just basically, without telling you, life really sucks and your life is going to get worse. And then there was part of the conversation, discussion, the lecture, where they talked about how doctors are not presenting realistic information to you. And you're getting misinformation about your health, well-being, and what's the prognosis in front of you. So, I don't know. I would appreciate it if anybody's got any comments, to write some comments down below. I'd like to hear what kind of information you're getting, and is it accurate or not? Do you go and double check it? There's a study out. When did I do that one? A week or 10 days ago. There's a study out that talks about all the different operations that you might have that have to do with cancer, they kept it categorized as surgeries resulting from various forms of cancer. And what the prognosis is to have that procedure. And an example would be that every cancer surgery that's done, actually after every cardiovascular surgery, there's statistics that give the prognosis or life expectancy of a person if they get through the surgery. It's not a pretty picture. This is science. You can go research it and find the studies, because there's several, and they're in publications that are very prominent. You know, some surgeries, you have a few years left. What is it? Cardiovascular, what kind? Quadruple bypass? Is that where they do all 4 arteries in your heart? You know, when you get off the table, and if you can survive that, you know, you have 3 years and you're dead. They can't do another surgery on you. They just repaired, supposedly, the 4 arteries in your heart. So 3 years later, when it deteriorates, they're not going to say, well, we need to take you back in, and you know, they can't do that. So doctors are not being upfront with patients about the outcome after the surgery is completed. And I've talked to a couple people here and there that have had different various surgeries as a result of cancer. They never were told that their life expectancy had deteriorated even after the surgery. The other thing at the workshop, which was real interesting, was they talked about telomeres. And of course, telomeres are those little shoestrings that attach to, you know, your DNA. And as you do certain things consciously, that affects the life expectancy you would have, whether it be longer or shorter than what statistics put out. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you're not getting information on. There's other procedures in neuroscience. You know, that's with the brain, thinking, thoughts, blah, 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 blah. If you do certain things, brain-related, you can lengthen your life expectancy. 2, if you do certain things with your brain, right, you can change the body chemistry and biology in your body and have a disease, terminal disease, disappear. They can go back and do your markers and they can't find the cancer anymore. Follow me? Are you getting that information? Are you getting that information? There's a little girl, Danica Patrick, who used to be, I don't know, she was a race car driver. I think she drove open wheel in NASCAR and I don't know, some other stuff. And she now has a podcast show and she just interviews MDs, PhDs about neuroscience and medicine and terminal illness. And she's got prominent people coming on, talking about what's not spoken about to the patient before, during, and after a procedure. So anyway, do some research on your own. What I've found out is that it's catastrophic how bad we are being treated. And I'm not even talking about politics and economic stuff. And please go read and research about collective consciousness and what impact that has on little kids sitting down at St. Jude's dying. So anyway, God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to y'all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.